So, hey everyone. So I'm not normally a person that sticks to the news much. I'm, very much vocal about that. As an entrepreneur, watching a lot of news is usually something that's not only tends to make you a little bit more negative, and you can't afford to be negative as an entrepreneur, but also just the fact that so much negative news is pushed out there, I tend to withdraw from it. But current events come up, and I realize, I need to be able to comment on things that are happening. I need to be open to seeing what's out there and reacting to it.
Because there's a lot of things that, when you realize how depressing the news can be and how manipulative it can be, you withdraw from it. I don't want to deal with this. And in a way, that does keep you safe, but it's not going to cause change.
Not at all.
And the only way you can cause change is to say, look, this is what's going on. Has anybody thought about it from this perspective? And try and unify rather than divide. Because right now, pretty much everything in the news is not unifying. It is dividing.
Right. And as kind of a spiritual virtue that I have as well is that what good is an enlightenment, clarity, if you're not participating in the world? And that's something that I have to remind myself, because sometimes I forget, because I do have a reclusive sort of nature, but I have to remind myself, okay, if I want to be of service, to help, then I need to engage in what's going on.
And a lot of people are addressing the way the world is and waiting for whatever they want to call a shift, or I just address it as a shift, but everybody's waiting for it to happen to them. Like, oh, look, it just happened, and we just had a shift.
It's never going to happen like that.
It doesn't happen like that. It's going to happen through them. So it's getting really sick what's happening with duality now. And it's getting really sick, and the people are subconsciously actually advocating it and broadcasting it. It's not like they're saying, oh, I'm a dualistic person and I'm happy about it. It's not even in their consciousness. So wake up. It is happening. People are being dualistic. You are getting against other people. You are saying, I'm a this and you're a that, and I'm not being respected because I'm a this. And that whole this and that thing, whether it's politics, whether it's religion, whether it's sexual orientation, whether it's any of those things, the minute you say I'm a this and you're a that, that's dualism. You can not agree with a person, meaning you can say, I wouldn't do that, but you can't judge them. Because the minute you judge them, they are, in a way, you're viewing them as less than you. And that viewing somebody as less than you can lead down a really bad path. It can lead down a place where you are dehumanizing that other group of people that are still human like you are, but you're not thinking about it that way. And the minute you cross down that path and get support via the internet, because now you can talk to a whole bunch of other people all over the world that are going, yes, I agree with you, we can dehumanize whoever, then all of a sudden you feel like you can have action, and it's wrong. It is wrong on a spiritual level beyond all belief, because when you look at it from that perspective, any spirituality, we're all part of the same body. We're not
as separate as we think we are.
We're not as separate as we think we are. And dualism makes people feel separate. And the minute you feel separate, then part of you can say, oh, I can do horrible things because they're not human like I am. I can't even imagine people thinking that. Even when I say that, I almost feel like I have to go take a shower. I mean, it's like just so awful.
It's gross. But as soon as those judgments come up, the walls come up between us. And, instead of us connecting and talking about something, well, then there's just a wall, and it's just, I believe this, you believe that. End of story. There's no unity.
So
there's nothing.
I'm hoping that, like, for instance, the shootings at the mosque that happened in New Zealand. I mean, why did people want to look at them? Why did people want to share that kind of a horrific thing on Facebook? Why within 24 hours, millions of people had shared this and had gone on millions of sites where they were trying to bring? What is in our human nature now that is allowing for that?
Yeah,
Because it's inactive. You can't solve it. I mean, if you see something happening on the street, you have the choice, and hopefully you choose it, to go help that person, to take an active part in changing the reality of that situation and making it come about in a more positive way, because that's what being human is.
Whereas this is, to me, it strikes me as just a complete victim mentality, because you're watching this video, you have no interaction with what's going on.
None.
And it's people are just pushing it out there and putting it into the mainstream. And that,
it's
to me,
real people.
It's
not
gross.
it's not a TV show. It's not a movie. These are real people that are getting killed. Real people with families, no different than your family, and you potentially are watching that. Who are the people that are doing that? Why would you do that? Why would you? Because you're giving it energy. If it comes all back down to everything is
Right.
energy. Everything is energy in this world. And you are actively saying, I'm going to give my time and my energy to watching this. I have now just put more energy into it because I watched it and I shared it.
And again, that's why
Have self-control.
That's why I've tended to move away from watching a lot of
Right.
mainstream news, is just because of that reason. But at the same time, I remember, what I want to be my spiritual, moral virtues, and that's of having an impact in a positive way to the world, rather than just sitting back watching videos and being a victim. That's what they're doing to us with this.
They are.
They're
They're
making us
distracting
victims.
us, and they're distracting us.
And
This is
that.
a huge distraction. And if you think about it, if we're being distracted by all these little things, it's no different than the sociology of war. If you can get everybody divided, they are mere chess pieces that can be moved. Because we're so busy fighting each other. We're so busy saying this is right or this is wrong. We're so caught up in that anything can come in there and do whatever they want, because we're not looking at the big picture. We're looking at the little picture.
There's a lot to that, and I'm hoping that through this, just even mentioning this event, that people are able to look at this and go, okay, so I want to have a larger impact.
Right.
How can we have a larger impact instead of sitting back, being a victim, and viewing atrocities? Well,
Let's
have
change
to
the world.
change ourselves.
Change ourselves, and
And
that
change the
changes the
world.
world. If you change ourselves, you change the world. If you change yourself, if you can say, I'm not going to look at that, and I'm going to say, whoever sent me that, you shouldn't have done that. We should not be giving energy to this. Maybe we should be giving energy to the education system. Maybe we should be giving energy to the fact that so many people are struggling, that so many people have to have like 2 income, or living in a house where you're sharing it with family or friends in order to survive. Not thrive, survive. And if everybody, that's a commonality between everybody. That's a commonality between, it doesn't matter what your race, your belief,
Sure.
your sexual orientation. Everybody is feeling that. The majority of the American populace is feeling that. And if we go, okay, well, maybe we can get over all these things and not be distracted by horrific things. Maybe we can realize that these horrific things are happening, and we need to shift. We need to cause the shift to happen.
We need to take action. We need to participate. And this is something I'm reminding myself, as much as I hope other people will connect with, is that we can no longer be this society
Quiet.
of people that are just quiet observers.
No.
We need to realize that everything that's happening in our lives is something that we have a connection to. And it doesn't mean, we're these terrible people. It just means we need to take more action. And I feel like our society that we live in is very reclused. Even I've been very reclused in the past. And if we take action to stand up for what we believe rather than what we hate or what we don't like, it's kind of like the Gandhi quote. You know the one I'm talking about.
I don't know which one.
Okay, be what you want.
Oh, right.
To
Be
see
and
in
see
the
the world. Be what you want
More
to see.
or less.
Right.
It's like that is the way I see it. You know, you have to participate in what you want, not what you don't want.
And all we've become is quiet observers through our phones.
And I no longer want to be that.
No.
So hopefully,
We need
our
to
viewers,
have
you'll
action.
feel the same.
And talk about it. All it is talk about it. All it is simple little choices that we can make. I'm not going to watch this. I'm going to give my energy to something good. I'm going to give my energy to forwarding me in the world, being an entrepreneur. I'm going to give my energy to these positive things. I'm going to
Focus on the positive, right?
And give your energy
That's what
to
matters.
those things, and don't give your energy to negative, to hate, to duality. I mean,
That's not
you're
going to
just
strengthen
feeding it.
anyone.
You're just going to feed it. You're just going to make it bigger. It's going to become a big idol. Every day you're getting up and you're looking at the phone and you're seeing horrific things, and you go, okay, I'm going to put another candle on the idol and keep draining my energy into these awesome things.
Victim.
And we're not. We're incredible human beings. We're incredibly smart. We're incredibly intuitive. We're incredibly aware, and we need to step into that.
We're capable of a lot. I just feel like the masses, most of us, need to take a little bit more action in our lives and focus on those positive things.
If we don't, we'll always be stuck where we're stuck. And we'll, and what's going to make us have the income ratio change? What's going to make us have social equality? What's going to
Better
make us have
relationships.
what's going to make us have better relationships if we don't act? And acting doesn't mean even to the point of saying something was awful or good. You have to point out the truly awful things, but like we did, the video was truly awful.
Yeah.
The fact that it was posted was truly awful. The fact that people looked at it and shared it was truly awful. I mean, I can't get away from that. That was awful. That humanity has gotten to that point. Because we're not supposed to be. We're not supposed to be feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm in this passive thing, sitting comfortably in my house watching this horrific thing happen. Oh my. Yeah, it doesn't change a thing by watching it, does it?
No.
Nothing changes. I mean, we had the one at the synagogue, we've had one at churches, we've had one at mosques. It's bleh, everywhere. Nobody is exempt.
So it's time to change, yeah?
Time to change.
For the
All
better.
right, yes. All right. Thanks, guys.